Hey my friends, it's Dave Wood. I'm talking to you from my home in Escazú, Costa Rica. And a lot of people ask me, how do I be a professional? How do I be a professional marketer, network marketer? How do I be a professional making money online? Can you show me how to do that? And I usually get that kind of a question after I try to explain what I do to somebody who totally doesn't understand it when they're asking me on an airplane or somebody I bump into, whether it's at church or through a friend. And they usually give me some sort of bemused, weird look on their face, or they just start pelting me with questions, trying to figure out what it actually is. They're like, well, what is it really? After all, if you think about it, what I do is actually sort of a weird thing to do. It actually takes people a while, even who work with me internally in my company as employees and contractors, it takes them a while to learn what I do. And so when you tell people that what you do is you make money online without any kind of formal training, maybe you didn't go to college or maybe you dropped out year one like me, you work when you feel like it, but maybe you work a lot, maybe you work part-time hours, maybe you don't really know the difference from when you're working and when you're doing something else. People are kind of confused by it because it's not normal at all. It does not make sense in their paradigm of the world and their view of how things are, and they've never experienced anything like it. So this video is going to be some ideas for those of you who want to be professional without being professional, right? And what I mean by that is it's for people who want to make money like a pro, regardless of whether you want to look like one, want to schedule like one, want to follow all the rules of society like one. And for me, I like to just make money like the pro and then do things my own style, right? I don't dress like people tell me I should dress, and probably that's not a good thing, but if you're serious, you'll do whatever it takes to make professional money, to become a professional in the sense that you're marketing online, you're being a professional marketer and making money. And by professional marketer, here's exactly what I mean. I mean, you are separating yourself by stepping into the world of making a full-time income, living how you want from your online business, working your hours, whether you work a lot, whether you work part-time, you're in the control seat of how much money you make and when you work. So how do you start? Well, what you want to do is you want to start with the right mindset, and you want to start with a clear outcome or clear goal. Most of the big marketers I know, they all have a big driving reason why they're building their business. They know why they're doing it, and they're committed to doing whatever it takes. I actually was doing a webinar last week, and I was drawing this. I have some whiteboards here, and I was talking about an audio that I listened to back in maybe 2002. And in that audio, it's literally called Do Whatever It Takes. I remember driving around the streets of Phoenix, Arizona, listening to this guy named Dave Shores tell stories about really deciding. And that's not normally what people do. People normally say something like, I'm gonna give it a go, right? And when they say that, they don't really have a reason or a really strong goal or outcome that's gonna drive them towards getting the result that they want. And if you think that you're just gonna start and you're gonna see what happens, think that you're gonna just get online and, hey, I'm just gonna start a blog, I'm gonna see what happens if I just kind of try it out, you're not gonna succeed. And it's actually better if you just commit to something you're passionate about. If you don't want success, if you're not really going to do whatever it takes, it's not going to work anyway. See, because what winners do is they make a decision to do whatever it takes because they've got a reason that resonates down inside the core of their heart. So if you want to start this journey, before you start the journey of making professional marketer money, you need to make a decision first that this is it. You're gonna get all in. And that doesn't mean a financial thing necessarily. It can, right? We use that terminology here in our company. But what it means is that you are going to do whatever it takes, and that means whatever it takes, and you've made a decision. I like to tell people this, that I made a decision a long time ago that I was gonna build Empower Network. I made that decision once, right? A decision is not something that you remake all the time. Remaking something all the time is not a decision, it's motivation, it's strategy, it's something that you're changing the way you're doing things, but you've got to have a commitment that you're never going to give up. You're going to just continue going. You got to have the right mindset, and that means knowing why and also making a commitment to that. It means creating a plan based on what you want. It means creating a clear strategy, which is a set of actions and knowing what you're selling, knowing how much you need to sell to create the financial results and the kind of income, whether it's residual income or high ticket income, that you want to create. So in other words, you've got to know who you're speaking to and how you need to speak with them in order to get the result that you want. You've got to know your market, which means who are you talking to? Well, for me, I talk to a couple of groups of people. For example, I talk to people in the network marketing industry because I did that for years, and I know that market. I know their pains, I know their struggles, I know exactly what they want, and I know how to solve their problems. And I also talk to anyone who's serious about making lots of commissions or lots of money online. My content, the videos I create, the audios I create, the bonuses I create, the blog posts I create, it speaks to those groups of people. It speaks to people who want to make money. And at the same time, it tells the wrong group of people to run away. Don't do this, right? I warn people, right? I remember hearing a friend of mine who, you know, he closes people on the phone a lot. And I remember listening to some conversations and somebody said, you know, how much of a return on my investment can I expect if I get into this, right? And I remember he kind of looked around and then he was like, well, you know, how much are you going to invest, right? And I was like, dude, right? When the reality is that the person is not going to get a return on their investment because it's not an investment, right? If you're investing in your education, the return on your investment is who you become. And if you want to learn how to invest, go do what Warren Buffett does. This is an online business that requires you to sell products and services, and if you don't do that, you have no return, because there isn't a return. There's a return on your energy. Does that make sense? And so I want people who aren't right to go, and I want the right people to be attracted to my message. And by crafting your marketing to speak to a particular group of people, you're going to get more people buying in greater numbers, and they're going to stick around longer and give you bigger residual income, and they're going to buy more high ticket stuff. Also, here's a key that's going to unlock things for you, and I want you to be really careful with this as well, and that's to develop a style in your marketing, right? If you're creating marketing that's mostly content like I am, and that would include videos, blog posts, emails, all forms of content, right? You got PDF workbooks, photos, Facebook posts, that's content. If you want people to listen to you, you need to develop your own style with the way that you're creating that content, right? Like with me, for example, when I started in Power Network, I remember I did a lot of whiteboard videos, dressed really bad. And all these people, they started, like, the business people, you know, who like being business people, started like putting on these like laid back shirts and like trying to act like me on a whiteboard. And it was like, dude, that's actually how I am. Like in person, I'm like this, right? This is not you. You want to be your own person, and this means you can't use just default, for example, campaigns that somebody else creates. We do create default campaigns for people, but what you want to do, especially over a period of time as you're building a relationship, is customizing that with your own style and with your own personality. See, trying to copy gurus is a waste of time. You can copy strategies they have, but if you try to copy that person, remember, you're not me. You're not Tony Robbins. You're not Frank Kern. You're not William Wood. You're not Lawrence Tam, right? You're you. And what most people do is, rather than trying to be themselves and believing in themselves, they copy everyone around them. What you want to do instead is you want to act in a way where you are being congruent with who you are, the beliefs that you have inside, and where you're going. When you're reading other people's content, you want to get inspiration from that content and put it back in your marketing. So for me, I don't read tons of blogs out there in the marketplace. I don't subscribe to tons of email lists, and it's because I think that most marketers are full of shit. That's the truth. It's not they're not bad people. It's just that they're copying someone else, and they don't really know what's working or why they're doing it, and they don't create their own stuff, and it's not original. There's a few that are, right? Most people in this business, they don't have anything to say that's unique that they didn't just grab from somewhere. They don't have a unique voice because they're not connected to their passion. And so they follow this sort of copycat strategy of looking at what's popular, copy it, right? and then make it slightly different, make it a little bit better if they can, but they don't really know how to make it better, and they don't really know why that person's doing it or even if it works, right? And maybe they do it for their product launches, maybe they do it for their emails or their blog posts, and maybe they do it for their videos. But however they do it, 99% of most of the people's content out there being created by marketers, it's not unique. It doesn't have their own voice, it doesn't have their own personality, and it's just boring. And if you want to look at people who really are making it out there, right? People who are really making it big out there are unique. And if you want people to read your blog, to open your emails, to continue coming back to you, you want to use your own voice and speak from your own heart. Stop looking at other people, at their blogs and emails for inspiration on exactly what to do, and just look at it for inspiration on how to be more of you. And this is something that I've taught people for a long time, and I really want you to listen, because it's going to save you a lot of heartache and pain, and save the market a lot of pain. That's this: if you're not an authority on anything, your content might start at a little bit more of a basic level, but don't try to be a guru if you're not. See, so in other words, it's okay if you're not an expert yet, because this is a part of the natural process of becoming an expert, is actually starting in a way where you're learning as you're taking action and doing what you're learning. And over time, by blogging daily, by developing content, by writing, by speaking, you're going to develop your own style, you're going to develop your own focus, and you're going to develop your own uniqueness. Another key is the routine that you follow while you're creating. If you want to create great results consistently, here's the key. You need a consistent routine of something that you do every day. Even in my case, I'm not very naturally organized. I'm not even very unnaturally organized, right? It's hard. Actually, Sandy, she's sitting there right there. She's operating the screen here, and she sends the security guard to wake me up if she can't get a hold of me on the phone, and then I lock my door so he can't wake me up, right? It's difficult. So for me, my routine of things that I do every day, though, is different, and it goes something like this. First of all, I'm going to wake up at one point or another. I eat, I exercise, right? I work. It's pretty simple. Now the point of all of that is that you need to make time for the things that you do every day. For me, what I do every day is I know certain things that I have to do in my marketing every day. Those are my daily marketing activities, and I do those things no matter what. And so, for example, if you're doing content marketing, you need to write your blog every day. You need to write content every day. You need to write emails to your list that are unique to you every day. And sometimes you want to do something that's like a live presentation, a live hangout, a live webinar. Don't worry too much about the details. If you're sweating too much, it doesn't matter. Just be you, right? A lot of times in my house here in Costa Rica, I don't have air conditioning, and I'll do a hangout and I'll just be sweating and screaming. One time I was in a presentation, I jumped up and I punched a hole in my whiteboard in the middle of a presentation for no reason, and man, that sold a lot of stuff for some reason. But here's the point. You want to fit whatever strategies you're using into a routine, and whatever that routine is, stick to it, make that a part of your system, and make that better. Become obsessed with creating your vision and enhancing your daily system, whether that's enhancing it through your daily routine, enhancing it through the structure of what you're doing, enhancing it through the people that you're growing around you, and the process that you're adding for your business. And especially if you want to be around for a while, you want to focus on creating processes and systems that can expand outside your sphere of influence if you really want to create results like you want. Now here's the thing. If you really want great results, you got to be a little obsessed. And what I mean by that is what you're passionate about something that's worthy of being obsessed about? Here's the thing about obsession, right? So psychologists might call that a disorder if you're really, really into something, right? But when you're obsessed with creating your desired outcome, your vision, the life you want for your family, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get that, you're going to be able to unlock all of the resources inside that you have, that you need to create it. And when you think about something all day and night, you're going to inevitably, eventually, you're going to find solutions to your problems, and you're going to experience creative breakthroughs that you just can't read from a book, you can't learn from a mentor. You need to take massive action. And that's how you learn the secrets. Staying up late at night, studying, researching other people's content, preparing your own. And if you've got your own plan, your own outcomes, and you follow these guidelines and get unusually obsessed, and you're still not creating the result that you want, here's the thing. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame anything. You created it, and all you need to do is just adjust your strategy a little bit and head towards your destination. I want you to remember that each time you change your whole strategy, you're also going to create a completely different outcome, even adjusting a little bit, right? There's a saying actually that if you've got a ship, right, you could just turn the rudder a little bit, and that will make the difference between going to South Africa and England over a period of a long enough trip on sea, right? But if the ship is anchored to the ground, no amount of changing the direction of the rudder will move it towards one thing or another. You have to be moving to adjust and get where you want to go, if that makes sense. And if you didn't create the results that you wanted last year, yesterday, last week, don't continue repeating the same strategy this year without adjusting the rudder just a little bit. Change the strategy again and again and again and again in your business. Remember, you're responsible for your results. I'm not. Even if you're building Empower Network, I'm responsible for the overall vision and results of Empower Network. However, your individual results are your responsibility. You create your life. And the way to change it is to focus. The way to change it is to persevere. See, the people that are willing to fail at enough things, they're the ones who eventually create what they want in their life. And here's what I want you to do as you're paying attention to this video. I want you to scroll down and look below. There's an area to comment. I want you to leave me your thoughts about what you're deciding to change now watching this episode with this weird guy in the chair in his house in Escazú, Costa Rica, and how you're going to implement a different strategy in your business. The most detailed comment today is going to get a free book. And I'm going to tell you something. You want to win, if nothing else, just to be the winner and just to achieve. So write a detailed, thoughtful comment below and then put in your name and email, and I'm going to give you some bonuses just for watching today's show, and here's what they are. Number one, I'm going to give you a PDF transcription of today's content that you can download and read, because watching, reading, and then I'll tell you what to do next in a minute, are two keys to unlocking information and to installing it inside your heart so you can actually go out there and apply it in your life. The next thing that you're going to get is an audio that you can listen to, whether it's on your way to work, whether it's in your downtime, running, jogging. Listen to this a few times and let these principles instill deep inside, and you'll be able to apply them. And there's a third bonus that I'm going to give you when you put in your name and email, in addition to the daily content that I'm going to be sending you every day, 5 days a week. Monday through Friday at 9, I send a show out like this. And that bonus is going to be, you're going to be able to unlock access to make money with us in our community from our system and be mentored by people who know how to help you unlock your passion. So go ahead, write a detailed comment, tell us what you learn and what you're going to change, most importantly, and put in your name, put in your email. I'll see you on the next page. And my friend, you have the power to not just be a pro, but to make professional money, whether you want to be one or not. And that's what we teach you how to do here at Empower Network. So put in your name and email, see you on the next page. I appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next episode.